C'est bon? Oui. Good afternoon, everyone. We've had another fairly long meeting this morning where we discussed a very sensitive and important subject, and that is the security situation in Syria and terrorism. I think a lot has been said about it. There is, of course, agreement that terrorism does exist, and it's a very, very serious problem inside Syria. But perhaps not yet an agreement on how to deal with it. And also, I think it is evident to everyone that to tackle seriously the issue of security is indispensable if we want to reach a solution to the crisis and the return of peace and security in Syria. We had tense moments and also rather promising moments. I'm sure somebody must have told you already that the opposition suggested a minute of silence for all the dead in Syria, irrelevant of to which camp they belong, and the government delegation immediately agreed, and we had that minute of silence. Tomorrow morning will be our last session. I hope that we will try a little bit to draw some lessons about what we did and see if we can organize ourselves better for the next session. I think that's enough for a beginning.
Gonila?
Yes, Mr. Brahimi. Here. Yes, Mr. Brahimi. My name is Gunilla von Hall. I'm a Swedish journalist, Svenska Dagbladet. I want to ask you about Homs. Yesterday you said that negotiations are going on between the UN and the Syrian authorities. Is the problem the Syrian authorities, or where is the problem? Why is the aid not getting in? And are you disappointed that so far this deal from Sunday has not been realized? And if this deal about Homs doesn't become reality, what effect will that have on your future talks? Thank you.
Of course I am disappointed. Very, very disappointed, because the situation in Homs is is bad and has been bad for months, years even. That is the first place where very bad fighting and destruction has taken place. It is there that a church built in the year 57 has been damaged or destroyed. It is there that a mosque that has been built also at the very beginning of Islam has been also damaged or destroyed. So, of course, one is extremely sad that these problems exist. The negotiations are still ongoing. Now the thing is, what goes first? Do you get the supplies, aid in, and then allow people to come out, or get people out first and then see what you do about aid getting in? This is unfortunately a civil war, or a situation of civil war. Even in the refugee camp in Damascus, El Yarmouk, there has been also negotiations, endless negotiations for several days. Today, Yes, today, midday, about 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock Damas time, that some aid has gone in, about 600, I don't know how they call it, baskets, yeah, yeah, food parcel or basket. About 600 have gone in. As you know, this is a basket or a parcel that contains, I think, 61 kilograms of all sorts of things that are supposed to be enough for 1 month for a family of 5. So a partial solution in Yarmouk, but no solution yet in Homs.
And why?
Ahmad Sara from Ikhbariya, Syria. Those who do not know, the Syria Ikhbariya has been totally destroyed. 7 of ours have died. For you, what is more important? Giving aid and assistance in Syria, or the distribution of positions in Syria? This is a very time-bombed question, says Mr. Brahimi. Nicolas Volti from the Swiss Radio and Television. We heard from the Arabic newspaper that there are parallel discussions going on between the Iranians and the Syrians and other parties. Are you aware of these discussions? Do you know anything about these discussions? It would be great. This way I can go home. That would be wonderful news. Unfortunately, there are no parallel discussions. This is devoid of any truth.
Jazeera.
Adel Sharkawi from Al Jazeera. Mr. Al-Brahimi, the United States and Russia confirmed that they will exert more pressure on the two parties to give in some concessions. Did you feel some flexibility in the position of the two parties? And do you intend to give or submit or send invitations to other opposition parties? Mr. Brahimi, I didn't really feel any huge change in the position of the two interlocutors. As for the invitation of other parties, the United Nations does not invite other parties. That was the obligation of the opposition to call upon each other. If the opposition, with all its shades and groups, it was their duty to meet and to invite each other and to be included in the coalition team.
The German television. Mr. Brahimi, could you tell us what is planned tomorrow in terms of maybe a common declaration, or will you deliver a report, and will you meet us again?
If you want me, I'll come back. If you don't, I won't. I'm not sure how it will, but we will certainly be drawing some lessons, and if you want me to come, I'll come back at the end of the morning, around 1 or 1:30 or something. I don't want to deprive you of your lunch, but we'll do it when we can.
Yes, I could.
Ahmed Zakaria from Al-Kul Radio. Mr. Brahimi, if the opposition gives lists of the detainees in the prisons of the regime, and if the regime does not give these lists, what will be the measures taken?
So, Could I ask again, are you intending to issue some kind of communique tomorrow? And could I respectfully suggest that if you do, that you put out a printed version through the UN? And secondly, that you do it in good time. It's no good issuing a communique in Geneva at 6 o'clock on a Friday evening because the radio is shut down and so on. If you could do it in the early afternoon.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure whether we'll have some concluding remarks. Under what form, I don't know.
2 more?
Yes, 2 more.
Yes.
حبيب سلمان من التلفزيون.
Habib Salman from the Arabiya Syrian television. Mr. Lakhdar Brahimi, you have made enormous efforts over the past 8 days. You have spoken about confidence-building measures as an attempt from you to build confidence between the two parties. The question is, why did the world did not help the two parties to build confidence, such as lifting the sanctions, as well as other measures that were declared in the Security Council resolutions in order to build confidence? What would you like me to say, says Mr. Lakhdar Brahimi. A transparent comment, please. This is everything that I say is comment. Everything that I tell you is transparent, and your question is also transparent. I have requested from the European Union a few months back already that they would review the question of the sanctions that are directly harming the Syrian people. This request has been submitted by me more than a few months ago.
Yes. Good afternoon, Mr. Brahimi. John Zarakostas of France 24. Going forward, sir, over here, yes. I'll start again. With reference to going forward, we've been hearing from both sides, talking to the reporters, that there are wide gaps on how to approach the agenda for the Geneva Communique talks. If this gap is not narrowed and both sides are jumping around the text, will you at some point impose your own text on how to proceed? In other words, a nuclear option.
I don't know what happened in the nuclear option, but you know, this is really the beginning of our process. I think it was necessary, at least I thought so, to let the two parties really express themselves, sometimes in very, very strong terms, about their feelings, their hopes, their fears. I hope that in the next session, when we come back, we will be able to have a more structured discussion. So, you know, we will keep in touch also during this period of when everybody goes back home. So, you know, all I can tell you is that I hope that when we all come back, we will have a more structured discussion. Thank you very much indeed. See you tomorrow, maybe.